Well, before I get started with this video and talk about the latest bad news for the Long Island Pine Barrens, I'll just show you some pictures from today's hike in New Jersey. I am starting to really lose hope in New York State and Long Island, and a future here for me, because it seems like everything is just getting worse. The transportation is getting worse. Our public safety is getting worse with this no bail. I mean, the crime is exploding all across New York because the judges don't have discretion to hold dangerous people in jail. They let them out. Why can't New York look at what they're doing in New Jersey? Because it works. All right? It works with the bail reform that they passed, that it gives the judges the discretion that they need to keep dangerous people with long rap sheets, people who are violent, people who are unstable. It gives the judges the freedom to do that. But in New York, they are forced to let them out because New York had to do its own stupid thing. And now we look at the Pine Barrens. New Jersey preserves most of its Pine Barrens. 3/4 of the New Jersey Pine Barrens have been preserved. And they are adding more land to that preservation roster every month. New Jersey takes care of its Pine Barrens. It promotes them. And it does controlled burns to keep the forest healthy. Whereas Long Island does none of that. We do none of that here on Long Island. The Pine Barrens don't seem to count for anything on Long Island. And I've been trying to be a voice for the Pine Barrens for such a long time. But as you'll see, there are more developments planned for Long Island in the Pine Barrens, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm talking about at least 2 more developments that I didn't even hear about until just tonight. And the people who have spoken about the box turtles, you remember what they're saying is they did the same thing. I saw the box turtles. Remember that land across in Tango? We saw the box turtles there. We saw some lichens there. It was a beautiful Pine Barrens. I contacted the D.C. I contacted the town of Riverhead. I contacted the Pine Barrens Commission. I contacted the Long Island Pine Barrens Society as well, and nobody did anything. Nobody did a damn thing. Nobody cared yet. When they wanted to build something like that west of Toms River along Route 37, it was stopped. Because in New Jersey, they care about the environment. But in New York, they don't. And that is the last straw for me. If we can't protect the Pine Barrens, I am leaving this island and I'm never coming back. I'll live in New Jersey because without the Pine Barrens, Long Island is worthless to me. So let's take a look at this latest plan. So let's take a look at this. This is a post. I'm not going to, disclose any names in this post, but this is about development that's occurring in the Pine Barrens that nobody is talking about. So it says here, some more of the Pine Barrens is slated for destruction to make room for yet another development in Ridge, right across from the street, Cliffwood Lane and Wading River Hollow Road. And there's eastern box turtles, northern cricket frogs, tiger salamanders, gray tree frogs, spring peepers, Cooper's hawks, red-tailed hawks, screech owls, turkeys, deer, various warblers, and all kinds of woodpeckers and black racer snakes, garter snakes, black rat snakes, and these are just some of the species that they've seen and photographed. And this person's been on the phone with the DEC, the Pine Barrens Society, the Pine Barrens Commission, Ed Romain's office, and just about every other entity in Brookhaven. And there's also a vernal pool in the forest, trees, woodpeckers' nests. This is ridiculous. So I'm going to show you this area. And there are a couple other areas here, and people don't care. They don't care. And here's another post here. Town doesn't care. We had woods cleared next to us that had tons of box turtles, which are close to being on there. And I know because we saw what happened with that Walmart in Riverhead. They built it anyway. Carving a path of destruction on Mill Road next to Mill Pond Golf Course. So we have 2 areas that we're going to look at in this video here. And, the more and more of this that I see that goes on, the more and more of this, I'm just ready to pack my bags for New Jersey and get off this godforsaken island. So here you go. We're gonna look at the area first. Take a look at Suffolk County. Look at how overdeveloped it is. I mean, all this development you see. All right, and this little area is what's left of the Pine Barrens. Meanwhile, if you look at New Jersey, look at how much bigger their Pine Barrens are. I mean, this is all Pine Barrens over here. all through here. They've preserved most of their pine barrens. And yet, for whatever reason, in New York, we just can't do it like they do in New Jersey. So I'll show you this area. It's off Wading River Hollow, and I know the area very well too. So it's off. Yeah, it's this area of woods right here. So it's this area of woods that they're going to be knocking down. So right here, they're going to be clear cutting this whole area. So we're going to do the drawing here. I can do this, and I'll show you that they're going to be getting rid of all of this. So all this is going to be gone. And somebody said there's a vernal pond on the property too. I'm not sure where, but all that's going to be gone. All right. This is insane. It never stops with this dam development. It never ever stops on Long Island. They just keep knocking. We've lost 3/4 of our Pine Barrens are no longer around anymore. We only have a quarter of the Pine Barrens remaining on Long Island, and yet they keep destroying more. It just never ends. And this is another reason why I may have to live in New Jersey. This may be the reason that gets me to New Jersey. Because if they destroy the Pine Barrens, there is no sense being on Long Island anymore. There's no reason to live here without the Pine Barrens. And the Pine Barrens side doesn't do enough. I know they don't. So I'm trying to find this vernal pond. Somebody said there was a vernal pond on the property. Unless they mean across the street. I don't think so. No, they mean over here. I can't see it from here. Maybe this is it over here. But it's a kettle hole pond, basically. And, again, this is Piney Woods. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's Cliffwood Lane. So I'll show you what the area looks like here in street view so you can get an idea. It's Piney Woods. Look, pitch pines. And they're going to knock all of this down. Or they're going to probably be in the process of knocking it down really soon. And, again, they get away with it. They get away with it. The Suffolk County drags their feet when it comes to preserving land. Suffolk County is a joke, all right? It's a joke, all right? Ocean County preserves, 500 to 1,000 acres every year. But Suffolk County can't do that. So I think it's this area right here. I think it's this area right here. It's Pine Barrens in here. So now we may have to go for a little hike in these Pine Barrens at the next chance I get, because they may be gone. I don't know if there are any trails in here, but we're going to go in here and we're going to do a video because it's not going to be around for much longer. So we're going to have to go in here and do it, because this is going to be gone really soon. This whole area here is going to be gone. Why? They want to build more houses. More houses. We're having problems with the aquifer as it is. There's too many people on this island. Can't sustain it. Can't sustain all these people. Yet they just keep building and they keep knocking down the trees. So yeah, this area is gone. Now somebody said something about Mill Lake. It's not this, right? No, it's not this. Somebody said something about Mill Lake, so we're gonna have to look for that. Okay, so Mill Pond Golf Course, which is over here. They're clearing woods. Probably these woods over here. It just never ends on Long Island. It never ends with the destruction. It never ends. There's hardly any preservation. We don't have controlled burns. We don't do what they're doing in New Jersey. Instead, we're just destroying the Pine Barrens, and there's not going to be a Pine Barrens on Long Island if we keep this up. It's not going to exist anymore. This overdevelopment, it's out of control. And we're not even talking about EPCAL here. We have somebody in office in Riverhead who may not protect the Pine Barrens and EPCAL, and we'll lose that too. Okay. And then we have what happened in Holtzville, along the expressway right over here. These woods are gone. They already knocked these woods down. This is all gone now. This is all gone. All this. Oh yeah, you can see. It looks like they already cleared a little bit right there in this spot because they're putting a Top Golf over here. Top Golf. We need that, right? We need that, sure. Let's just keep knocking down trees and let's not do anything. Let's not build sewers. Let's not this island can't support the amount of people that are on it already, and it's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. So yeah, this is gone. This is gone. All right. I'm just starting to really give up on Long Island at this point. I every time I go to New Jersey, I realize it's just much better there for me. It's going to be hot, but it's much better for me. I mean, you look at Riverhead. I mean, this used to be woods over here. This whole area used to be woods. This whole area here used to be Pine Barrens, right over here. Whole area. They knocked all these Pine Barrens down. And this used to be Pine Barrens too. Yep, that used to be Pine Barrens too. They knocked that down. Alright. And then we make our way further east. Guess what? These Pine Barrens are going to get knocked down too, right over here. Yeah, they're going to knock these down too. So you see what's going on Long Island. We are in a overdevelopment crisis. So yeah, they're going to knock all this down if they haven't already. They're going to knock all of this down here. Yeah, and there's a lake there, but they don't care. They're going to knock it all down. And there's no assistance from our Pine Barrens Commission, and no assistance from the governor, no assistance from anyone to stop this. Oh, you hear on the news, oh, they've given Peconic Land Trust some extra money. But, again, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Let's face it. We are losing Long Island. We're losing everything that makes Long Island great. We're losing the Pine Barrens. We're losing the middle class. We're losing our environment. We're losing our safety. It just comes to a point where, things got to change. And this governor, Andrew Cuomo, has the worst governor ever, all right? I mean, literally, this bail reform thing, there's crime. A lot of these people are getting out and they're doing crime. There was somebody slashed and stabbed in Manhasset Railroad Station tonight, all right? Of course, the South Shore areas, usually, they'll deal with a little crime too, but they're always going to get it's all about them. It's all about Wall Street. It's all about these white finance professionals. No, then Manhasset is not part of the enclave, so they're going to dump problems there too. All right? This is what's going on across Long Island. It's being destroyed. Look, we lost WLNG. All right? These snobby people came in, bought the radio station, ruined everything, and now WLNG, I put it on, I feel like I'm listening to the same. They gear to the same freaking demographic. It's all about this goddamn demographic, this preppy, stuck-up, lily-white, finance professional demographic in their preppy clothes, smirking and smiling, loving money, loving the way Wall Street's going. Meanwhile, the island is being destroyed, and they're the reason why. It's all about them. You put on News 12 Long Island, it's all about them. It's always all about them in New York, isn't it? It's not about those great shapes. It's not about our environment. It's not about our public safety. No, it's all about them. It's all about them. And I'm making this rant because I'm very frustrated seeing what's going on in Long Island. I go to New Jersey. You put on their News 12. It's like they gear to regular people, blue-collar people. They gear to everybody. Look at Phil Murphy. He's supporting mass transit. He's supporting the environment. New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, the counties of New Jersey, they preserve the environment. They don't allow this kind of destruction to happen. But on Long Island, they don't care, because on Long Island, it's all about Wall Street. Put on News 12 New Jersey, they don't even bring it up. Maybe they brought it up for a second. And guess what also they don't bring up? They don't talk about Trump. They don't talk about the Iran conflict. They don't talk about any of that. They talk about news that affects regular people. All right? So, I've lived here on Long Island my whole life, but it's getting to a point where I have to consider, for my own health, leaving, because this is not good for my mental health. I don't feel safe here. I don't feel safe with these criminals. And this is now, we're halfway into January. And has Cuomo done a damn thing? Cuomo's gallivanting around Puerto Rico. He's gallivanting around Puerto Rico while the state falls into shambles. And Carl Hesty, the Assembly Speaker, is like, give it more time. We can't afford more time. The crime is going through the roof in this state. This is an emergency, and our New York State government could care less. It's unbelievable. I know this rant was going to wait to the end of the month, but I had this all is part of the big picture. If you're not with Wall Street, if you're not with this demographic of these white finance professionals, then New York is not the place for you. They have taken over. And there's no place for disabled people like me. There's no place for the seniors. There's no place for the middle class. And there's no place for the minorities. It's only a certain demographic that gets treated well in New York. And if you're not with that demographic, your life is going to be a living hell. And when it comes to the environment, I am beyond frustrated. These pictures you've been looking at here are of that beautiful Pine Barren, desert-like area that was by Edgewood Preserve next to Pilgrim that was bulldozed because they want to put solar panels there. How stupid is that? Knocking down trees which remove carbon dioxide to put solar there. That's the way this governor thinks. This piece of trash governor Andrew Cuomo. He is the worst governor this state has ever seen. The man is pure evil. He really is pure evil. It's almost like I'd almost rather see him impeached than Trump. As much as I can't stand Trump. You know, Cuomo in some ways is even worse. He's the worst governor that this state has ever seen. He is completing the destruction of New York State. And if we don't get this governor out as soon as possible, then this state is gone. All right? But it doesn't seem like anything is going to change. I've tried to change it. My colleagues have tried to change it. We keep getting ignored time and time again. All right? And it comes to a point where, you know, it's one thing if I got to deal with the bums hanging out. It's one thing if I got to deal with feeling unsafe. It's one thing if I got to deal with turning on the local news on Long Island. It's all about these snobs. And yes, they are snobs. I'm going to call them that. It's my channel. If I want to call them snobs, I'm going to call them snobs. Because that's what they are. They only want to be with their own kind. They're obsessed with money. They think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. Walking around in their preppy clothes, sitting on their little comfortable Babylon branch train, or we're slammed in like sardines on the main line, just because they get the nice stations, we get all the crap. You know, it's all about them, of course. You put on News 12, well, yeah, they're going to talk about, they have all these other stupid things. Long Island Naturally, they have some other news segments now that gear to this demographic. You put on News 12 New Jersey, you don't do any of that. They got Kane in your corner. We don't have that. So, bottom line is this. At the rate things are going, I will have to leave Long Island. It's not a matter of if anymore. It's just a question of when it's going to happen. If we can't get this ship on course soon, because it's breaking my heart. When I see the destruction of the Pine Barrens, that to me is the last straw. That is the last freaking straw. And it's obvious that New York doesn't give a shit about the Pine Barrens. All right? They haven't done a good job preserving it. They've done a crap job managing it. You know, you see, I see them cut new trails in Rocky Point. They make a huge mess. Knock trees down all over the place. All right? No controlled burns. No controlled burns. That's important to have a proper ecosystem in the Pine Barrens. New Jersey's been doing that. But again, we can't do what New Jersey does. No. Because we're New York, and we're an extra level of stupid in this state. We can't do it right. We couldn't do bail reform right. We couldn't preserve the Pine Barrens right. We can't do anything right in this pathetic state. All right? And I'm sorry if this is going to upset people. But I had to get this off my chest because I see the difference happening. Yes, it's hot in New Jersey. I don't know how I'm going to survive the heat there. I don't know how I'm going to survive because there's, you know, somewhat less transportation in certain areas like Ocean County. But you know what? I think I can deal with that more than dealing with what I'm dealing with on Long Island right now at this point. I'm tired of the heartbreak. I'm tired of seeing the destruction. I'm tired of fearing for my safety. I'm tired of being stranded. At least if I live in Ocean County, I won't have to ever deal with Crazy Bus again. At least the New Jersey Transit buses actually show up. And they're actually on time most of the time. And they're actually driven by competent employees. Unlike Nice Bus, which is I call Crazy Bus. It is Crazy Bus. We're riding on a crazy bus, riding up and down on a bus driven by a funny clown. And that's what a lot of these drivers they hire at Nice are. Funny clowns. All right? You can't count on those buses to show up. Tomorrow I got no trains again. I'm left at the mercy of Nice, or I have to walk to Garden City again. I don't want to ever have to take Nice. It's not reliable. All right? It's not. You got to understand something. It's not. It's a private company. It's a private company. You know? And now we're talking about bus service cuts in Queens. Because of Pat Floyd and because of Cuomo. This is their way of sticking it to Queens, because Queens is a diverse borough. Let's discriminate against them. Sorry, they're not part of a certain demographic, so we're going to discriminate against them. Mr. Andrew Mark Cuomo, I think Mark is his middle name, you are a pathetic governor. You are the worst governor that this state has ever seen. You have done so much harm to me personally. You and your pal Ed Mangano have made my life so much harder and so much more miserable. I've seen the Pine Barrens be destroyed so much under your terms. You haven't done a damn thing about it. And now you signed this stupid bail reform law, which has literally opened a Pandora's box of criminals that are roaming around this state, pillaging and terrorizing innocent people. You know, this is why I'm upset, because there was a man, I'm going to put his picture on the screen, he got killed in a DWI crash out on the William Floyd Parkway by a drunk driver who was let out of jail under the bail reform. The blood is on your hands, Mr. Cuomo. The blood is on your hands. All right? And Carl Heastie and all these stupid Democrats in the legislature that voted for this. Yeah, I'm sure Annette Kaplan and Todd Kaminsky might have been there too. And then there's people that still support it. This is a disaster. They don't care. The government in this state is completely out of touch with the people. New York is by far, we are becoming worse than California at this point. We are worse than California. We are worse. My advice to my viewers, just get out of New York. It's done. It's done. I'm going to make my plans to get out of New York, I think, unless something changes. Unless there's a major uprising in this state against this governor. He needs to be recalled and removed from office. Forget about Trump and impeaching him. We need to get Cuomo out. Doesn't mean I like Trump, but Cuomo is even worse than Trump. He is even worse. And I'm sorry if some people don't like that. You're free to love Cuomo all you want. But I can't stand the man. He's made my life a living hell. He's made the life of the Pine Barrens a living hell. He's made the life of the middle class a living hell, leaving people stranded. Come on. This governor is the worst. You want a governor that cares about the people? Phil Murphy from New Jersey. That's a man who cares about the people. That's a man who talks about helping the people of New Jersey, all the people, not just a certain demographic. So that's been my piece here. I know this was a really strong rant, but I had to make it tonight because after reading the latest news of this Pine Barrens and seeing the chaos that's going on with this bail reform, something needs to be done about this. We need an uprising in this state. We need to throw out this governor. We need to march down to Albany, throw out this governor, and also elect and get the Republican leadership back in the state Senate. All right? I knew it was going to be a disaster when the Democrats win. All right? And anyways, it's a complete disaster. New York is a complete disaster. I love New York. I don't want to see New York go down the tubes. But it's up to you to do something about it. Because I can't keep doing it alone anymore. I know my colleagues are doing it, and I appreciate them doing it. But we are fighting a losing battle here. And it comes to a point where you got to just walk away and say, it's done. I walked away from El Wasteberry because it's done. I'm starting to walk away from going to Skidsville because it's done. And now I might have to walk away from Long Island or New York because it's done too. Unless you're a certain demographic. But if you're not with that demographic, your life is going to be miserable. So that's been this video, and take care.